Hi, everybody. Still waiting for a good chunk of us to come on in, but once I announce who I don't have, it would totally help if we could, text them to get them in. But welcome, everyone. Welcome back. AP Calculus. Moving on to Unit 2. All right, let's begin with the checkouts. I mean, check in. Check out. Today is November 9th. And our question for the chat is how much energy do you have right now on the scale of 1 to 10? 10 being that you have a lot of energy, 1 being your energy is super low. So let's go ahead and put in our energy ratings into the chat. All right, all right. Right. Oof. We got a -4. We got some fours, threes. I'm like at a 6, 1 and 2. Okay. So a lot of low energy for a lot of us this morning. Okay. We got 110. That's awesome. More ones here. And then we got a medium 5, some fours. All right. Like I'm at a 6. So I'm like kind of productive, but like the cold is making me, it's hard. It's very cold. Our heater broke, so we have no heater. So I went to like put on a fuzzy jacket. So it's super cold. And somehow the cold makes me like less productive. I don't know. That's probably just me though. But awesome. Thank you all for sharing. Let's see. Who do I not have? So yeah, so we're all a little bit, most of us are low energy or medium energy is what I could feel from the chat. Okay, we got two tens though. Got a 10 there. Two tens. Yay. That's awesome. Hopefully more of us can be some tens in the future. All right, so this is who I have absent. And if y'all can help me out, like text them if you're their friend. So I'm missing Kaylin Jackson. I think Kaylin's a junior though, but if you have Kaylin's number, it'd be great. I'm missing Roxana, James, and Grecia. Hold on a second. I thought I saw Grecia. I'm just basing it off the chat right here. No, no, I'm missing Grecia. Yeah, yeah. So I'm missing 3 people. So again, that's Kaylin, Roxana, James, and Grecia. Never mind, that's 4. Yeah, 4 people. So again, if you're friends with them, if you could send them a text, let me go ahead and submit this. All right, everybody. I hope you at least are keeping warm right now. Have a blanket or something nearby. But let's jump into our agenda. So this is what we're doing. Yay, we got Roxana. Let me just update the attendance. All right. So here's what we're doing. So welcome back. We're going to be focusing the beginning on AP exam signups. I know I posted it on Google Classroom. We only got 2 that actually did sign up, but it is required for this course. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to sign up. Um, how it has historically been is that the school pays for the AP calculus exam, so it's paid for. So it's like free opportunity to get some AP credit. Again, if you pass the AP exam, you get college credit. After we sign up for the AP exam, we're going to be having the overview of the unit slash reviewing limits. So remember pre-calc last year, we talked about limits. We talked about like the bugs approaching a certain number. That's what we're going to be reviewing. And then we're going to have a checkout. I did already post the first assignment for this module. I'm just continuing to number the asynchronous. So I think we left off with asynchronous 7. So we're starting with async 8. It's posted and it's due Tuesday. And basically what it is, it's reviewing limits. So it's a review assignment from last year. And I'm hoping that today's discussion kind of reminds you on what limits are and so forth. But if not, what's cool about it is it's basically the assignment has practice, Khan Academy. So basically when you put stuck or get help, the Khan Academy helps you out. Yay, we have Kaylin. You update the attendance. Welcome, welcome. So we're just missing two folks now, James and Grecia. All right, so that's our agenda. So let's jump into the first item, signing up for the AP exam. Again, it is required for this course. The instructions are on my Google Classroom. I posted it on October 28th. There's student directions and there's also the code that you need to enter. Only two of you did sign up and it was Shannon and Stormy. So you all are signed up, and basically how I could tell is on my side in the College Board website, it says I have 2 enroll out of 17. So I need 15 of you to, get on it and enroll. Let me go with you to Google Classroom though, just so that y'all know what to expect as you're enrolling. So um, where's my, oh, right here. So the AP exam, so I would first go to student directions, the part that says PDF, and it tells you where to go. So you're going to sign in to myap.collegeboard.org, and you're going to be using your College Board login. It says this is the same login you used to access your AP scores or that you used for my AP last year. Now, if you don't have a College Board login account, you're just going to click on the sign up and create an account. So pretty straightforward there. Then you're going to click join a course. Before you do this, make sure that you use the 6-character code that's attached in the Google Classroom assignment. So the code's on there. To add the join a classroom, you're just going to go ahead and enter the code. Number 3, you're going to submit the code, and then you're going to verify, click yes. You're going to fill out registration information. Then congrats, you have already signed up. And also in the College Board, it has some AP resources. So it even has some AP calculus practice tests, things like that, so that you can, strengthen up your ability for the AP exam. Because, since we're on this modular system, it's going to be hard to cover everything we need to know, right, for the AP exam. So that's going to be available for you as a resource. And there's even AP daily videos as well. Yeah, so that's my overview. Let me know, does anyone have any questions? Let me give 5 minutes and I'll check to see who needs support or who has logged in, but this is our code. Let's see in the chat. Yep, I got you. Welcome, Roxana. Happy you're here. So again, the 2 I'm missing is just James and Grecia. The rest I have up to attendance. All right, so let me give you all 5 minutes to get into signing up for the AP exam. And if you run into any issues, let me know. I'm here. So let me just put this timer up. Let's see. All right, one's done. Yes. So for some of you, it might be quick. Yay. I'll also check on my end to see like how many are signed up. Let's take a look. Refresh. All right. Yeah, it says 4 of you are already enrolled. So now we just need 13 more. Awesome. So some of you, it's taking faster. I don't know if someone just came in. No, actually, it was people who are already here. So again, as a reminder, we're just taking the time to sign up for the AP exam. I was going to start this timer, but I mean, I could also just look here. And then as I refresh, I could see who's adding on the course. Again, it's going to be paid for by the school. So you definitely want to take opportunity. Again, it's also required too for this class. Yeah, as y'all are signing up, just as a thing about required, it does not mean that your grade is going to like, you're going to be graded on whatever score you get on the AP exam. It's not like that. It's going to be just like a grade as in, did you take it? Yes, you get an A. Did you not? Then you just get an NC. As long as you take the exam, that's an A for our class. The results will come out around like July in the summer. So you'll see if you passed or not. All right, we have 5 that signed up. We just need 12 more students, and I think we're still missing like 2 students though. So basically we need 10 more that are here to log and sign up. Let me go ahead and put this timer then. I'll check in 5 minutes. All right, everybody. Let's be back in 5 minutes. If you're already done and you signed up, you could take a break, get something warm to drink, get some tea, whatever it is to warm yourself up. We'll be back in a bit. All right. Hey, Rosa. So we're basically signing up for the AP exam. And also, James, hopefully you can hear me yeah, totally. Welcome, welcome. I'm happy y'all are here. So the directions to sign up for this year's AP Calculus exam is on Google Classroom. So right now we have 3 more minutes to go ahead and follow the instructions and using the code to sign up for the AP exam. And the instructions are super clear. So Kaylin, so you asked, is there a specific username we should have? Basically, if you have an account, you would have had a specific username, but if you don't, then you're gonna click sign up. So if you don't remember having an account, then you wanna sign up. But if you do have an account, then you wanna use recover a password. So that's just the difference there. But as far as for me, yeah, like when I log in as a teacher, I have a specific username and password. So I'm assuming it's the same for you all, but I'm not sure. All right, and then what we're gonna be doing is after this timer ends, we'll see how many we have signed up. I'll be following up individually for those who haven't yet signed up. The deadline is actually approaching. Oh yeah, does anyone know the school zip? I know I always have to look it up myself. I just look it up by Google and I just put Envision Academy and then it gives us a zip code. In my phone it says, oh, there we go. Sophia put it. Thank you so much, Sophia. Yeah, likewise, when I Google it, it shows me this. Yeah, it shows me that one too. When I Googled it, 94612. That's right. All right, a few more seconds on this portion. Again, even if you don't like get to finish right now when our class ends, you could totally finish it, and or I'll follow up with you. The deadline to sign up is basically on Wednesday though. So you want to make sure that you're signed up by Wednesday. So let me just take a look to see how many of us got logged in and signed up. All right, a good chunk. So 8 out of the current 15 that are here. So I think 7 of you still need to go through with the enrollment and registration. I could also check back in tomorrow because tomorrow we do meet up as well. So we'll check back in on this, and we might, we could also still use the beginning of class tomorrow to check and see who still needs to log in and sign up. And then what would happen if we didn't sign up by Wednesday? That means you wouldn't be able to take the AP exam because they have to print a certain amount of copies and our school needs to pay for it. How do we get our student ID? So your student ID, like if you're talking about statewide ID, that's like the 10-digit one. Usually it's on your transcript. If your advisor sent you the transcript, it's also for our school, our student ID is a 4-digit, I believe. So it depends what they're asking for, but they should be on your transcript. And someone asked, am I signed in? So that one I'd have to look after because I don't want to like, if I click who logged in, it shows some personal information. So I don't want to like show that for everyone, but I'll let you know after class for surely. I'll follow up with you if you're uncertain if you logged in or not. All right, let's see any other questions. Then it says, because it asked me for student ID, is it supposed to ask? If there's no like red asterisks by it, try and see if you could just continue without filling in that part. Let's see if anyone else knows, like if it's required that you put your student ID. Does anyone know? Or can you skip it? Oh, this also totally reminds me of flashbacks to CSU App Day, where it's hard to see what y'all are looking at. So I'm just like guessing. Okay, so Juan put it shouldn't be required. Okay, so Edgar, try and see if you can move on without entering the student ID. Thanks for all these questions. It helps me see where, okay, good. So now 10 of you are in. We need 5 that are here to still do it. All right, perfect. Yay. All right, so again, feel free to continue on this. If you have any questions, reach out to me on Remind. And then Edgar, if you're not sure, I'll double check right after this class and I'll let you know, as well as anyone who's uncertain. I'll also let you know if you're logged in or not. I'll follow up with those who still can't or still haven't. All right, thank you so much, y'all, for using this time. So what I'm gonna do next is kind of just remind everybody of, what this class is like and the expectations. So again, our class is going to be based on open-ended investigations for maybe I would say about 50%. A lot of AP calculus, and I don't want to like sound negative, but I know for the AP calculus exam, it's a lot of sometimes memorization of things. And for me, that doesn't feel like that's math. When you're memorizing a bunch of stuff, sometimes that's not really like you can memorize stuff, but not really understand, right? So just as a heads up on the AP exam about that, that's why sometimes students have to do additional study from what's given in class. But we're going to be continuing with our open-ended investigation. For me, it's more important that y'all understand deeply the concepts of what we're learning, as opposed to just memorizing a process and then just like a robot repeating it. So here we go. So again, when we're placed into groups, and for example, when I was placed into groups in college, it felt scary and it was like anxiety ridden and it was so hard. But it was also necessary because when we were so specifically, I was at UC Berkeley and the math instructors are literally taught straight from the textbook. And so we were forced to like create study groups as students because there was no other way to kind of learn the material. So it was a way that we had to manage that. So in that though was actually the best type of learning you get. And the purpose of our group work is going to be, the goal is to get questions out there, to get ideas out there and to discuss what we do and don't understand. And then we develop deeper understanding. So that's just the purpose of the group work. And again, true learning happens through this processes, as the college experience proved to me. And there's also a lot of studies about how students learn, and a lot of it is sense making together with other people, like sense making real time, instead of you just in your mind not being uncertain about certain things and you're just following what a teacher is saying. So that's just open-ended investigations. My experience, again, it's hard. So again, if you're struggling with group work and things like that, it is hard, and I understand so much. And then basically the specific way that people learn, it's called productive struggle. So basically when you don't understand anything at all, but then you like this. So first, I think the first reaction is this like screaming guy. Then after you get over like the fear and this discomfort, right? You're gonna try it, like this little baby climbing up the stairs, and also having some help along the way. So your peers helping you out, clarifying things. Then lastly, the goal is you should feel successful. You should feel like you've learned something, and you should feel like you've accomplished something. So that's like the goal of what this group work is striving for. And given that, I understand that in order to make productive group work, sometimes it is necessary that you as students have input on who's in your group, right? Because sometimes, you need that, right? Like in college, I got to choose my groups. So I want to give you all that ability to be able to have that input instead of me randomly, creating the groups. So I'm going to have you all fill out this Google form. And in the Google form, it will be for credit. It's going to ask you what resonated with you as far as what I talked about, like group work, how it's scary, productive struggle. And then it's also going to ask you, let me open it with you. So I'm going to ask you in your feedback about what resonated with you or what doesn't. That's okay. And number two is asking you, who do you work well with? Now, it will help me better make the groups if you put more than one person, because sometimes that one person isn't here. And so you're going to have to just work with whoever is in your group. Groups are going to be about groups of 4. It could be up to 5. So put more than one person would help us. And then number 3 is, what should I know to best support you for this module? Maybe just something that you learned about our first time together. So let me go ahead and give you all some time to fill out this form. Let's have 5 minutes. Let's do this form for 5 minutes, and then after we're done with this form, we're going to get into our delicious notes on reviewing limits. So just be prepared with notes and a pencil once you're done with the Google form, everybody. All right, let's be back in 5 minutes. Let's complete this form. Adding about 1 more minute, because I noticed we have about 10 responses, so I want to give enough time for this part. All right, everybody. I hope you got your responses in, and if not, you want to make sure you get that in because right after this class, during our lunch break, I'm gonna get started on making the groups because our first group activity is gonna be tomorrow. And of course, I'm gonna also be grading like participation in class because again, I don't want our grades to be just based on the asynchronous work. I also want to give value to the stuff and the amazing stuff y'all are doing here in class in your groups and things like that. And all right, without further ado, and let me also let you all know that after Tuesday, we have the Wednesday break, and Thursday is going to be a Wednesday schedule. So after Tuesday, we're not meeting until next week. So it's just today and tomorrow that we're meeting. So just a heads up on that. And I also and reducing the async. So we're only gonna have 2 async this week, one that's due on Tuesday and one that's due on Sunday, just to give you all that break. You might want to just have some more free time on Wednesday. So I'm not assigning the 3 as usual. Yeah, you don't have school on Wednesday. It's Veterans Day. I went over it in advisory, but yeah, you all do not have school on Wednesday. All right. And then basically they're making Thursday a Wednesday schedule so that the classes are balanced. So that's why after Tuesday, we're not going to be meeting anymore in the week. All right. So let's get our notebook, paper, pencil ready. Now, if you're type that rather do digital notes, you could totally do that on a Google Doc or whatever you want to do. All you could do is take a screenshot and you take little notes below it. So that's a way to take your notes. All right. So today the title of our notes are limits, and the learning target is that I can review limits in a graph along with the proper notation of limits. So let me give you all some time to get down this title and learning target. All right, y'all. I hope you got this down. So again, the learning focus for today is we're going to be reviewing limits and in graphs and also reviewing the proper notation to express limits. So again, even before the quarantine started last year, I know we started talking about limits in class in pre-calculus. Um, so hopefully y'all can remember some of this, but let's first review the notation. And even if you don't remember, that's fine because I'm hoping that this right here, this review can help you remember. So here's the limit notation. So you wanna copy this down. So you usually write lim and then you write your function. That's function. And then right here, what this means right here is as you approach A along the x-axis, usually how I say this is as x approaches blah. A is usually a number, like as x approaches 2 or 3 or -1. So A is a thing that changes. This x approaches stays the same, and then equals L. So the limit L is the y value. Remember that? So it's what the y value is getting closer to. So you're focused on like what is the y value that your function is approaching. So let me give you some time to get this down. 10 more seconds on this slide. And again, I will be posting this as well, so you could always go back to these notes. Also, somebody was in the Google form was saying if there's a way to get the recordings of our class like notes and stuff, and yes, always. You just want to ask for it so that I can upload it. It usually takes like an hour, but I'm happy to do that for anybody who needs it to review. I usually also do it for any students who are absent, so totally. Just ask me on Remind or an email, and I'll send you the video. All right, y'all. Now, maybe you remember this from last year or not, but you not only have a regular limit, you also have limits that either approach from the left or the right. These are the proper notations for those. So over here on the left-hand side, this one's a left. I usually just call them left limits, but how you read it is the limit as x approaches a from the left. And the only difference in the notation is that the a value has like a little minus sign, like kind of like an exponent, like it's a to the negative. And that's telling us that it's only approaching from the left and it has a certain limit. And then here's a right hand limit. The limit as x approaches a from the right, and again, you just put like a plus symbol, like as an exponent to the a. So that's just a different notation. Let me give you some time to get that down, and we're going to take a look at actual examples to review how to actually apply these. All right, I hope you got the basic gist of this down on the proper notations and what they mean. Let's see what else. I'm forgetting if I have more review. Okay. So this one in your notes, you want to just sketch the general picture. As a reminder, last year we thought about limits like bugs. Remember, it was like a bug walking and it's approaching a certain number. And these were the bugs there. As a reminder, though, when we're imagining that the bugs are walking on these lines, the bugs can't fly and they can't jump and they don't fall into the holes. For example, this right here is a hole. Like this bug right here can stand perfectly on top of the hole, so it doesn't fall in. You can think of it as the bug is too big for it to fall in the hole, and they can't fly. So basically, once this bug ends up here, he can't fly down to the other side, and he can't jump down. So he'd be stuck right here, or she'd be stuck. And again, the focus when you're looking at limits is you think about what is the y value that the bugs are approaching or that the function is approaching. Bugs are just there to help you imagine this concept of a limit. But in reality is what is the function? What value, what y value is the function itself approaching? All right, so first let's take a look at the bug that's approaching 3 from the left. So here's 3 on the x-axis. So this is where I'm looking at right now because it's saying 3 from the left. So if it's approaching from the left side of 3, that means we're looking at this here bug. And this bug is going to just keep walking, 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 and it's going to end up at this particular spot right here on this here dot. And to determine the limit, you look at what y value this dot corresponds to. And it looks like it corresponds to the y value of 1. So then your answer would be right down here, if y'all can see that. It says the limit as x approaches 3 from the left, there's that minus sign, of f of x. F of x represents this piecewise function that you're looking at, is equal to 1. And it's 1 because that bug stops at that y value of 1. Let me know if anyone has any questions on that. All right. Oh, yes, it's pretty much the y value it lands on. That's correct. That is going to be the limit. And I don't know, Rosa, if y'all talked about limits in the last school you were at. No, yeah. So it's gonna be so for you, this is not review, it's new. But don't worry, because I feel like the Khan Academy practice assignment that's due tomorrow, it's gonna be helpful because it has help videos and help links. Yeah, I think you'll be okay, but just continue to ask questions if you need clarity. All right, let me erase the bug on the left. Now we're going to take a look at the right hand limit. So now we're going to focus on this here bug. All right, so now we're going to look at the limit as x approaches 3 from the right hand side. So we're going to imagine that there's a bug on the right hand side of 3. This curve right here is on the right of 3, so we're looking at this bug. Oh yeah, I also did this too last year. I think I remember I said this is left and this is the right. Like you would just cut your graph in half. All right, so this bug is going to be walking, walking, walking. Again, it cannot fly, it cannot jump. So it's going to be forced to stop right here. And it also cannot fall into the hole. So the bug ends up right here. And the y value that this bug coming in from the right ends up at is going to be, it looks like at y equals 5. So how you would formally write that with the proper notation is the limit as x approaches 3 from the right, there's a little plus of the function is equal to 5. That would be the answers for the left and the right limits. All right, I'll just pause here for any questions and also pausing for y'all to get this down. Oh, okay, so that's, I got a good private question. The open circle is to show that it's positive and the shaded is to show it's negative, right? No, actually not. So coincidentally, the open circle is on the right-hand side, the enclosed circle is on the left. Sometimes it could be reversed. Sometimes this could be closed and this could be open, but this is still the right and this is still the left. The open circle means that the function isn't defined there. That's what the open circle means. It's just a hole. Like the function is just not defined there. It's defined down here, wherever you see the closed circle. So yes, the open and closed does not correspond to right or left or plus or minus, just to clarify. All right, let me know if there's any other last minute questions. Right after this slide, we're going to talk about limits that do not exist. So if you remember also, we talked about when you get something that does not exist, and we would say D and E for that limit. We're going to talk about when do limits not exist. All right. So for this next one, we're actually looking at the same problem. So here we go. So we know, sorry, we don't know. Maybe you remember from last year, this was a big idea from last year, but when the left and the right limit are not equal, like the y values are not the same, that means that the limit does not exist. What do I mean by that? So let's again review what we just got from before. So we know from the previous slide that the left-hand limit is equal to 1, the right-hand limit is equal to 5, right? That's what we just got from previous slide. Because the left-hand limit does not equal the right-hand limit, because 1 obviously does not equal 5, the right-hand and the left-hand limits are not equal. That means that the limit as x approaches 3 without a plus or minus, notice how the 3 does not have a plus or minus as an exponent, we say D and E does not exist. So let me write that down. D and E means does not exist. When the right hand does not equal the left, the limits do not exist. When this and these two are, that's a big giant equal sign. When these two are not equal, that's when the limit without plus or minus does not exist. Yes, thank you, Edgar. You already put that in there. I was late. Again, let's see if anyone has any questions. This one you already had the graph copy down for. But just because the left and the right, they do exist. The left-hand limit exists, it's 1. The right-hand limit exists, it's 5. But the limit as x approaches 3 is going to be a D and E because those bugs don't meet. They don't end up meeting. They're at separate locations. So when the y values aren't equal, the limit at that specific x value would say does not exist. That's without the plus or minus. And I also added in that second bullet that when the limit does not exist at that particular x value, in this case, we're talking about x equals 3, it looks like a gap or a break in your graph like this. So it looks like a gap. Like there's a function part right here, then it jumps down here like a gap right here. So that's what it would look like. And that's how you would kind of know, like, oh yeah, the function does not exist right here. All right, I'm just gonna pause for any other questions, clarifications. Yeah, I'm putting a timer, so don't worry. Oh, okay. So when it equals each other, yeah. So when they are equal, what would that mean? When the y values from the left and the right are equal. Yeah, so you put does it equal out. So basically, if the left and the right do meet up, the bugs meet up with the same y value, or if, they're just equal to each other, you would say the limit does exist and it would be that number, whatever it was that they're equal to. Yes, so it would equal out. And we're going to take a look at limits that do, of course, exist. Yeah, so I'm getting a clarifying question there in the private chat. So if it was 3 from the left and also 3 from the right, the answer to the limit would be 3. Yes. If both the left and the right gave you 3, then your limit answer would be 3. and it would not be DNE because it does exist if they are the same. Yes. Welcome, welcome. That's great questions. All right, so let's jump into some oh wow, I should have. Well, yeah, that's also what I verbally just said, but of course it helps to have it there. But yeah, since the left and the right limit do not meet at the same y value at x equals 3, we say the limit does not exist. All right, now let's try some examples. You could go ahead and copy down a little sketch of this here graph. As we do these examples, we're going to be taking a look at these limits right here and, just get some practice. Again, the assignment for tonight, the asynchronous work, is going to be more practice. And I like today's practice because it's going to be Khan Academy. So when you're stuck, you could put the get I'm stuck button and it gives you steps, help you out in the Khan Academy. So that way it's like easier to fix up where you're having a misconception. All right, let me give you first some time to sketch down this graph and then I'll start talking about it. All right, I hope you got a sketch down so we could start with these problems. So the first one says the limit as x approaches 3 from the right. So again, if it helps, I'm going to just make again a dotted line. Coincidentally, this is again asking at around 3 again. So x equals 3 right here. And again, it helps if you want to put this is left and this is right. Kind of like how your hands are. And you're going to imagine that a bug is starting from the right-hand side. This is the bug that can't fly, can't jump, and also can't fall in through the hole. The bug is going to keep walking, and it's going to stop until it hits x equals 3. And then we're going to look at what y value does that bug stop at. So this is like an arrow. The bug is walking right here on the curve, and it's going up a hill. Then the bug appears right when it hits x equals 3, that's when it stops. So it appears to stop right here on top of the open circle. Remember, the bug cannot fall into the circle. It's too big. So here the bug stops. No, the bug cannot jump, right? So it can't jump to this closed circle above it. So we need to see, where did it land on this here bug? It landed on the y value of, and let's see if anyone in the chat knows. What y value did the bug land on? All right. Viviana says 2. Sophia says 2. Yes. You are all right. And I got a private chat that says 2. Correct. The answer is 2. The limit as x approaches 3 from the right-hand side is 2. Perfect, y'all. All right, let me erase this because now we're going to look at the bug coming in from the left of 3. All right, so I know it's from the left because there's a little minus. So then you've got to imagine that the bug is now on the left-hand side on the curve itself. So this is the bug, has little legs, and it's going to go up this little hill here until it hits the x value of 3. So it's walking, coming in from the left, and this bug appears to land at the same location, right on top of this open circle. So in a similar way that you all said, the bug coming in from the left landed at that y value. Wait, I see something in the chat. A lot of stuff in the chat. So James put 2. Edgar put 2. Russell put -1, but never mind. Russell is now agreeing on 2. Yes. So this bug also ends up at the same y value location that the bug coming in from the right landed on. So yes, the limit as x approaches 3 from the left-hand side is going to also be 2. Notice that the left-hand limit is equal to the right-hand limit. They're both 2. Therefore, the limit as x approaches 3 without a plus or minus is going to be 2. The limit does exist here because the bugs are meeting up at that specific location of 2. So that's the answer for the first 3. And let me erase this work because now we're going to look at the limit as x approaches 1 from the left. Yeah. Yes, according to the private chat. So this would not be D and E. That's correct. Because the left and the right are the same number, the limit will exist and it is not D and E. That's correct. All right, let's take a look at the last one for this one here. So this one is now saying as x approaches 1 from the left. This little -1 as an exponent means from the left. So first off, x equals 1 is right here. I'm going to do a dotted line, so we're not looking at 3 anymore. And we're coming in from the left. So the bug is on the left-hand side of that vertical line that vertical dotted line. So the bug is going to, again, start in the curve right here. Here's the bug with little legs. It can't fly, it can't jump, and it stops at whatever the x value is approaching. So it has to stop at the x value of 1. So this bug is going to walk, 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 and it's going to stop right here. It has to stop where x equals 1. What y value did this bug end up at? Let's see the chat. All right, y'all are agreeing that it does end up at 0. You're all correct. The limit as x approaches 1 for this particular function is going to be 0. Now we could have also done the right-hand side for this. Now the right-hand side would have been the same because notice there's no breaks or gaps in this graph. So the limit would be existing for all of this. Even if there was that hole right there, that's okay because the bug still can stand on top of that hole. All right, so right after this, we're gonna jump into our checkout. I did have more examples, but we could also, you could also continue to work on these, especially in the homework. Like I said, it's gonna give you great feedback to do that homework because it's Khan Academy and they get some help. They even have additional videos to review this thing. All right, let me clear my drawings, y'all, so we could jump into the checkout. All right, so that was great. Again, we could continue to do some more examples as warm-ups though. I was gonna have a palette thing, don't worry though, we didn't have time for it, so. All right, exit question is, what are your hopes for this new module here? It could be about math class or it could be in general about anything. Like what do you hope is different for you or the same, whatever. What do you hope for in this module? Yes, to not fall behind on any work, to pass with an A, have a good daily routine to get my work done, that it's not stressful. My hope for this new module is to better understand AP calculus and not fall behind. Yes, I love that. I think I'm also with Edgar. I want to focus on getting a good daily routine as well. My hopes for this module is to keep focusing on getting my work done and not falling behind. Hoping it goes smoother, not stress out and stop procrastination, that I'm able to actually understand the work and not procrastinate. Strengthen math skills, keep on track, not fall behind, do all of my async work and get a good grade. Yes, those are all amazing, y'all. I'm very hopeful that we stick to those goals as well. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoy your lunchtime. I'll see you all. Bye. Everybody. See ya. Have a great lunch, y'all. Bye.